What is up, friends, YouTube motorcycle enthusiasts? Accelerate here. I am in the LCQ, also known as the Last Chance Qualifier. Go time. And you can see I'm hot off the line, as always, with my blistering speed. I'm getting dusted out. So as many of you guys know, with Tough Like RORR, if you do not make the top 60, well, I guess it's 60 this year, I think it was 50 previous years, but you will go to an LCQ race, also known as the Last Chance Qualifier. In this case, for 2023, which was they take 10 more of the top riders from the LCQ. And I was on row like 20 to 1, I think, or 20 or 30 or something. This is a long weekend, so I'm not exactly sure. I was in the back, let's just say that. So the chances of me actually making the top 10, to be fair, even the top 70, not even remotely close. But the LCQ was another race, so I get my money's worth, so to speak, and as an amateur rider, so pretty cool. Again, you know, great terrain. The LCQ course is different than the previous course, which was also pretty cool, that it's a, you know, a separate portion. I think in previous years they had 3 full races for amateurs, and that LCQ was the same day as the main race, so really feel for the 10 that would make it and then get the main race ahead of that. But not a problem with me. I am definitely not good enough for that, not yet, but we're getting there. So the goggle flip, I gotta figure something out about goggles, man. So this goggle flip essentially just, you guys saw it, cost me 5 positions. So, you know, I was ahead of these guys. I do the goggle flip. Yeah, I don't know if I have like a small face or something. I don't have a deviated septum, which I know is a problem with some riders being able to like nose breathe. But it really seems like the goggles that I use pinch off my nose. I'm using Oakley O-frames. They seem to do it less. I've had climbs, 100%, and some others. I haven't tried Scott yet, but yeah, I got to figure something out, because the goggle flip, you know, obviously in this dust, I need the goggles. In a lot of races, you should have goggles on to protect, you know, the eyeballs. But yeah, 5 positions, man. Come on, you're killing me here. Oh, we got the collision and the hop. This guy kind of came out of nowhere.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
He was cool though. He apologized, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. I was a little off course, but I was pretty tired. I've talked about that before with my conditioning. I was a little looser with the LCQ, but still, man, I'm a slow poke, and I need to get my conditioning up. I can definitely feel it. It's like, it's almost embarrassing in some cases. I'm moving here, not too bad, but it's almost embarrassing in some cases. Like, I look like I'm trail riding. I really need to work on my speed and my aggression in these, and especially in these shorter races. This LCQ is, you know, it's 1 lap. It's like 5, I think it's 5+ miles straight through. And, you know, I'm poking along here, you know, getting stuck. It is pretty terrible. But, yeah, much work to be done. As you guys can tell, I alluded to this in the last video with the qualifier, bike is still running rich, and this is where things started to get really apparent. I knew it was not quite right. I didn't really have a lot of time to mess with it between the qualifier and the LCQ because they were the same day, but I definitely knew something was up. So what happened was I eventually ended up rebuilding the smart car, which worked out great because the guys at Technology Elevated were there. They had a rebuild kit available. They had a spare set of floats available. They actually even offered to rebuild the carburetor for me, which I ended up doing, but Corey, one of the Technology Elevated representatives, gave me his cell number, which was good. There was cell service there, and texted him a few pictures along the way whenever I was doing the rebuild after the race. And top-notch customer support as always. I even got a chance to put that hard enduro metering rod in, and let me tell you, for the shotgun enduro, I could tell a huge difference in how the bike was running. Obviously, it wasn't running crazy rich anymore. It was running crisp and correct, and that nice fat low end, properly tuned fat, you know. We'll say hefty low end. Good torque, and then zipped up to a crisp rev. Man, the bike is running premium. So you guys have seen my, if you haven't seen my review of the SC2 carburetor, the 36mm, from Technology Elevated, highly encourage to check out that video, and just more praises all around for the customer support. So shout out to those guys for making it happen there at the Keystone Challenge race weekend.
Good? Thanks, buddy. Good.
Alright, so the LCQ definitely has a little bit more technical stuff than the qualifier earlier that day. From what I read and heard, everything, they said that everything would step up in difficulty from the qualifier to the LCQ and then ultimately the main race. I will say, I'm definitely, with the LCQ, I'm, not probably going to make the top 10 as alluded to. I don't, to be honest, I ended up a 34th of 93 in C class for the LCQ, but not a single B or C rider made it into the main race. So there was a lot of pros there, a lot of top talent in the A class, and frankly even in B and C class. So if I had a complaint, I would say that I'm maybe a little spoiled from some of the other races in the series, like Battle of the Goats, also known for being extremely difficult. But everyone races, which I also understand for the RORR guys, that manage this. They have to manage numbers, and they have a race that they want to put together. And I totally respect that. From an amateur perspective, it does drive me to get better, but I definitely have a ways to go to see that top 70. But, to be fair, I would also like to have seen more actual hard enduro in the earlier races. Not saying it wasn't technical, as you guys can see here. We got like a rock garden moving through. But compared to what is in the main race, from what I understand, it's not even comparable. The main race obstacles, the exposure, the hill climbs, the rock sections, they're just way, way above this level, which is what I want to ride, Make it or not, that's kind of where I want to be at. But again, I understand, not knocking the club. You guys, you put on an awesome race, and I'm glad I was there. The experience, again, was really cool, and it does drive me to make that top 70 one day. Everybody's got goals, and mine is not to suck. So as I was going through all the footage, it became apparent to me that the main section, I would say, other than these little rock gardens that they kind of sprinkled in, 409 is known as their, it's like a diner section, what you would call like Brent's Diner from Fallen Timbers or something like that, which was a super cool section. Of course, my GoPro overheated, and then, oh, look at that mud. It's actually the only mud in the entire course that I saw. So, but anyway, on to 409. So for 409, it was a super cool section. I went through it, and I was loving it. I was excited about the footage, and I looked down, and sure enough, I saw the gear on my GoPro. So I think it's time for a new camera. I've been having some issues with CF cards, and I think what's kind of happened is my GoPro is showing its age, so it's time to upgrade. And it's really sad that I lost that footage, but especially talking about how with the hard enduro sections and stuff, the 409 was definitely legit. I wish there was more of it, that type of riding throughout, but nonetheless, it was a bummer I lost that footage for you guys. Well guys, that pretty much wraps it up. That was the Tough Like RORR LCQ. Again, 409 is kind of the last section right before the finish line. Again, I ended up 34th of 93 in the C class for the LCQ, which is, yeah, respectable. A lot of talent. You know, it's a premier race that brings a lot of people. So things were topped up really good. There's a good competition. Overall, a great event. I'm really glad I got to experience it. So coming up next is going to be the Shotgun Hard Scramble. And I got a day of rest, which was pretty cool. So next video coming at you. Hope you guys get out there and get on two wheels and ride a dirt bike. This is Accelerate once again. Signing off.